guys, it's New York Prime, aka Cup of King. Welcome to my latest video. This video is very different than normal and is a bit more personal than normal. This video focuses on my friendship to one of my best friends who passed away a few years ago, called Bryony. So if you enjoyed this, if you do, please like, comment and subscribe. Now to the main video. Enjoy. I'm going to be very honest with you up. I really loved Bryony. In what way, I don't know. I don't really care. All that I know is that I loved her and she was important to me. And that will never change. She will always be important to me. She asked me not to forget her, and to be fair, I could never forget her, even if I wanted to. Her friendship was important to me, and still is. I wanted to make this video to kind of immortalise her and give her justice. Basically represent her in a way that she would want to be represented, and also say a few things that are important to me. I first saw Bryony at Summer College. Yeah, it's strange to think that's where I first met her. I met her and I didn't really meet her there, but we didn't really talk, but we saw each other there. Often just in the smoke room or on the bus. So we took the same bus home, and that's where I remember first seeing her. But where I first met her and got to know her was the clubs. It was the Mandrake of all clubs. Couldn't have been the bigger killer, but it's the Mandrake. Yeah, it's a small little dive. It was a good club though, good night. And yeah, we had a lot of friends in common, but we didn't know that at the time. And when we saw each other, we started chatting. Then System of a Down came on. Chop Suey. She just grabbed my hand and took me up to Mosh. That was the first time we'd moshed with her, and it wouldn't be the last. I'm just laughing because it was such a fun time, and I remember it so clearly. To me, that's one of the stranger things. I don't have the best of memories. Yet with Bryony, I can remember every little moment, every little argument, every little conversation, except maybe some other drunken stuff. Of course, but I remember a hell of a lot of it. When I look at a picture and memories just come flooding back of that time, I know exactly when it was took. I know what we were doing when it was took. I know everything about that night, and that's just a weird feeling that don't really happen much for me. It's fair to say Bryony made my life very, very interesting. Some of the stuff we got up to when we were young, and yikes, some of it I'm not able to see on YouTube. But yeah, we got up to some crazy stuff. It was thanks to her dragging me to, what do you call it, free parties and stuff. It was just crazy, stuff I wouldn't normally do, like doing all-nighters and stuff. It was just crazy. Those and many more are the sort of experiences that I would never forget. Those are experiences that matter. Each little thing sort of changed our friendship. Yeah, I started off fancying her, then we became such close friends. And yeah, our friendship could be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Could be a little bit much sometimes, and we needed a break. But those breaks were important to our friendship, because they gave us a break from ourselves, which allowed us to become close friends again. Because as soon as we got back to being friends, it was like it never ended. And I often had to be reminded by another friend, I won't say his name, but I often had to be reminded to make the first move. Now, see how I remember all this. That's so important she is to me. Again, if I'm honest, how could I have not fancied Bryony? She was tall, she was attractive, and she was giving me attention. It's as simple as that. But it did grow into something far more special and far more important. And I won't forget that friendship. She was that friend. As soon as you saw her, you felt happy, you felt good. She was that friend that wasn't always reliable. Yeah, sometimes she stood you up, sometimes she didn't meet up with you. But that didn't matter, because when it mattered, she did. She was there when it counted, just like a good friend should be. Our friendship was so close. Bryony was the only person that could get away with calling me a retard. I hate that damn word. It infuriates me so much. But I knew when Bryony used it, it basically meant stop being addicting, shut up. And it worked. It would always shut me up. Just thinking about that made me laugh. Even that's a good memory. For some strange reason. But yeah, Bryony was the sort of person, as soon as you met her, you wouldn't forget her. She was the life of the party. And she was always intelligent, always smart, and always just Bryony. This is a warning. Next part's going to be talking about cancer and grief. So if this upsets you, then please stop listening here. Don't upset someone else. If you want to listen, carry on listening. But don't say I didn't warn you. Now to the serious stuff. When Bryony first told me, I got so upset. She wanted to tell me in person, but it was complicated for her and hard to do, so she had to do it on the phone. When she told me, my heart literally broke. It was, I couldn't believe it. But I remember it so clearly. I was so upset. For days, weeks, even months. Part of me was gone. I was so sad. And it made it hard. I struggled to be near Bryony. And that's one thing I regret. I regret that need. As soon as someone would said, let's go to the beer cellar, I was like, yay, let's go. I just wanted to go, get out. I was running away. And I hate that. I should have made the most of the time that I had. But to be fair, I made the most of a lot of the time. But that I do regret. But I understand why some people can't be near or can't visit a person who's dying. Because it does hurt. It hurts a hell of a lot. But I'm glad I was able to. I'm glad that I pushed through. I'm glad that I did spend time with her. I'm glad that I made those moments count. One of the funny things is, around this time, I also lost my marriage. And yeah, that hurt almost as much, but never lasted as long, because that one's been dealt with. But losing Bryony, that's still there. Certain things bring up memories, bring up feelings. You never forget her, you never forget the pain, but you learn to deal with it and you learn to cope. And I'm glad that it's there, because it reminds me how much I love her, how much I care for her, how much I do care for her. When I lost Bryony, I fell into drinking. I was drinking every day for a week, and I didn't like it. I'd wake up just zombified, and it was like, I can't do this. And it helped me to realise I didn't need alcohol. I just needed friendship. Bryony's friendship won't ever be replaced. But don't take the friendship that you have for granted. It might not be Bryony, but that other friendship is just as important. And same, if you have someone you've lost, you can't replace them. But don't take the other friendship for granted. I often feel like I have. The day that I was told that I lost Bryony was the saddest day of my life. It's not an exaggeration either. And I remember sticking Slipknot on, Duality, just to try and escape it. It's made that song hard to listen to nowadays. I just blared it as loud as I could, as long as I could. Just tried to hide in the song. When I had the strength, I contacted the people that mattered. Like Matt, Alan, Ian, I think. I know I forgot some, and I apologise for that. I am sorry that I forgot. It was a hard time for everyone. That's also the thing to remember. No matter how much you hurt when you lose someone, there are others that hurt just as much, if not more. So be aware of how everyone feels, and not just yourself. That's the most important part. I will always remember that certain look Bryony gave. I'll always remember that smile. I'll always remember Bryony. She was and is a special person, and always will be. I'm not afraid to admit that there are times that I cry. I've even cried at clubs because a song has brought back memories, and it hurts. Alcohol doesn't help. Those memories at the clubs, those are the things that matter. Those were important. They were what forged me into the person I am. They're the things that made me who I am. Without Bryony, I wouldn't be me. And that's one thing I can always say. She helped me to become the person I am. She gave me strength. A time to change the pace a little bit. This is what happens when you don't write a script or use notes. It goes up and down. But I have to remember, and I have to say, I'm so thankful that Bryony got to be my best man at my wedding. There's no one else that could have done it. And I know she had help from many others. They did a great job. I'm so thankful that she got to see me get married, even though it didn't last long. At least she saw me on that day. She saw me at my best and at my proudest. And I'm proud to call her a friend and my best man. The stag do was amazing. She did a great job with that. I knew she had help, and I'm thankful for that too. She even realised things about me that I didn't know. I'm not going to go in detail about that. Yeah, on the stag do it showed that. It's just funny to think about. There is nothing wrong with crying when you lose a friend. There is nothing wrong with being upset. There is nothing wrong with having time to grieve. But you do need to carry on with your life. You do need to focus on the things that matter. Not to say the person who's gone doesn't matter. Of course they do. And they always will. But your life is important. And yeah, it is hard. Very hard, in fact. But moving on doesn't mean forgetting. And it doesn't mean literally moving on without them. It just means carrying on, doing the stuff that you need to do without them. They're still in your heart, and they're still in your mind. They're still there. But you're able to carry on without crying, without being upset. That's important. They won't want you to be upset. They won't want you to cry. Not because of them. That would hurt them more. So, the thing you have to do is when you need to be sad, be sad. But when you can, move on and do the things that you have to. It does get easier over time because you learn to cope. It doesn't lessen, but you learn to cope with it better. So, to summarise all this up, Bryony was my best friend, and I lost her to cancer. And it hurt. And it still hurts. But I was able to move on, keeping her in my heart and in my mind. But not letting the sadness take over, not letting the sadness win. She wouldn't want that, and neither do I. She will always be remembered as someone who shaped me to who I am. She will always be remembered as someone who brightened up a party. She will always be remembered as someone whose smile was infectious. In a good way. Not how infections nowadays, but you know what I mean. She always made you smile. She always made you laugh. She was an important person She was an important person in my life. I'm really hard to redo that line, but I think the mess up is actually important to keep. Because it just shows emotion. So I hope you, enjoyed is the wrong word. I hope you liked and understood where I was coming from with this video about my best friend Bryony. If you lose a friend to cancer, or lose a friend at all, you will be okay. And you will be able to get on. You won't forget them. And you won't lose them, because they'll always be there with you. They're a part of you. The things that were special about them sort of blend into you, because that friendship, because of that relationship you had with them. You're not the same person once you meet that person. Is that a good thing? In Bryony's case, definitely. I would normally say please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this. There are many more videos, and I will say there are many more videos that are not like this. They're more about games, characters and geeky stuff. But this had to be done because this is part of who I am, not just all that. So all that being said, hopefully I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching New Doc Prime. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to New Doc Prime.